We're back in the shop after going to the range shooting the model 9969 one time with 30 caliber M2 AP. That's the starting field test to make sure that we get the initial resistance and the ballistic layering that we need to proceed with further tests at the NIJ lab, which we will be doing quite soon. So let's tear this thing apart and see how the adhesives and all held up. The shot was a little closer to the edge than I wanted it to be, but it still looks like 2.5 inches. So 2.5 inches from the shoulder and a little over 3 inches from the top edge. So it's a fair hit. So let's pull the front cover off and we'll have a look. Crack arresting layer is doing its job. You can see how the damage, at least with the crack arrestor on, is limited to this area up here. If you push on the plate, you kind of get the sense that there's a lot of solid ceramic remaining. As a matter of fact, I don't even get any cracking around it, which means that the plate is solid. Back face deformation is kind of in that area right there, where you have displacement of the polyethylene over a wide area. And here we can see that the ceramic is still intact. It's still bonded to the back plate, but I'm curious to see now how well that adhesive bond is. Our armor film adhesives are extremely strong. This crack arrestor is peeling off, but it's leaving a fibrous layer of polyethylene behind. That's incredible. Still can't get it off there. Okay, so you can see the effectiveness of the crack arresting layer, and you can also see the effectiveness of what a quality ceramic will do for you. You don't have a busted up ceramic armor plate here. It's so important. The use of crack arresters in this case is so important. The proper use of crack arresters is so important that I want to clean this off and show you. When you don't use them, you get a complete shattering of the strike face on a monolithic, especially on a monolithic plate, one piece of tile. But here, as you can see, a lot of cracking around the initial entry point. And even if there were, and I can see some right here, those are held closely and tight together. They're very tight. There's no separation in there. So if another round hit in this area, it would still be able to resist it. To some extent, it depends on placement, how your small circle worked out in the back, and the way that the ceramic tile cracked. And all of those factors play a part in multiple hit resistance, as well as, you know, the quality of the backer, the quality of your crack arrestor, how it was adhered to, the quality of your adhesives, lots of things. But what we're specifically looking for in this case is the effectiveness of the crack arresting layer. And to me, with this particular chemistry in the ceramic, our adhesives work extremely well with this, and that enhances the effectiveness of the crack arresters that we use with the types of resins that we have in those. Work very well in combination with the ceramic chemistry and material. So instead of seeing an annihilated strike face, now this is only one shot, obviously. If you put additional shots in here, you're going to shatter this thing all to pieces and destroy it. Silicon carbide is very brittle, so multiple hits really shatter a silicon carbide plate. So that's why I only shot it one time, because I wanted to be able to see how the crack arrestor is functioning along with our adhesives. So far, so good. Armor film adhesives are really nice because not only do they work well, they also tend to protect the polyethylene so that you don't have to process the polyethylene material at such a high temperature. So there's a longer dwell time with armor film than with other adhesives, but those dwell times are a small price to pay, because you can activate these adhesives at 220 degrees instead of jacking it up to 130 degrees Celsius. And you see the quality of this is very evident. I don't see any cracking below, down in this area whatsoever. Lord have mercy. Okay, here's the back side of the strike face, and I was able to get it's separated from the PE, but I'm telling you, these adhesives really work well with the chemistry in this plate. I've never seen such a bond. So this is all solid down here. What I want to focus on is this spall circle up here in the top. This is the spall circle on a monolithic plate. On this plate, you're looking at the reverse side of the strike face, so the bullet went in like that. And I pulled this off the polyethylene. Polyethylene went here like that. And I pulled this off. And you can see how the energy moves through the plate and how the ceramic plate works. You have the projectile coming in here, and then it forms this. There are very technical terms and lots of science you can talk about here, but the basic layman explanation is that the projectile comes in here and it knocks off a ceramic area in the back that is thinner here and thicker as you move away from the projectile entry point. This is full thickness out here, but not too bad. So any other projectiles that come in the spall circle here, about about 3 inches in diameter. Any other projectiles in here would have a reduced effectiveness in being resisted. Now, over in here is solid, and everywhere around is solid. So you could potentially resist additional projectiles everywhere else. But you can see how that ceramic spall circle works on a monolithic plate. It's much larger than on a mosaic, but you have other factors working as well. And you can read the body armor guide to read about my thoughts on the differences between a monolithic plate and a mosaic. Each one has its advantages and disadvantages. There's your strike face. Silicon carbide, titanium diboride. Now that we have separated the ceramic from the polyethylene backing, let's have a look. At the polyethylene backing to see how many plies we destroyed, and I can tell you it's not many. It's a lot of work tearing one of these apart. The core on this is absolutely disintegrated. There's no big hunk of core left or anything like that, like you normally see in a aluminum plate. So the core in this is completely annihilated. There's nothing left of the steel core. Nothing. It's just gone. That's how hard that ceramic is. That is incredible. The only thing I can even find left of any part of the projectile is a little bit of jacket material right there. Right there. That's where the core squeezed out of the jacket, and then the core entered the plate, and there is no core left. The core has been pulverized. This is a good example of kind of BFD in general. You can see how the shape absorbed the ballistic impact. You see this curve in the polyethylene right here. This is how you can get a look at how the polyethylene works. Very impressive ceramic.